In the small town of Helmsbrook, where the Harvest Sun Festival was beginning, fate conspired to intertwine the lives of 5 disparate souls. An elf named Fox, a former city detective fleeing the clutches of corruption in Castell, had taken refuge in this quiet village under the alias of his new life. Alongside him was Nicholas McSlickety, a drinking buddy he'd met at the local tavern, and Hebrew Hammer, a halfling alchemist who was the richest man in Helmsbrook, owing to his fast-selling concoctions and brews. They were joined by Timber Dunkel, an elven druid with a lineage linked to the mystical dryads, and, on this fateful night, a stranger named Tyr, a paladin driven by vengeance against a cult that had slain his family. As the townsfolk celebrated under a sky lit with lanterns and laughter, danger loomed from the shadows. From the forested edges, a menacing manticore descended upon the revelry. Chaos erupted, and Roach, a bugbear deemed a monster by many, emerged from the woods, driven by a sense of duty to warn the villagers. United by their common cause, the adventurers rallied to the defense of Helmsbrook, battling the beast and saving countless lives. However, when the dust settled, Nicholas McSlickety was nowhere to be found. The following day, as the festival continued, amidst an air of uneasy calm, a new threat emerged. A stone giant had fallen into an enchanted slumber in the town square. With the townsfolk bewildered and unable to awaken the giant, the adventurers were called upon to venture into the nearby Cradlewood Forest to seek answers. The mayor, Reinhardt, suggested checking at the cave of the stone giants, while a villager recommended they seek Goody Grimjaw, the youngest sister of a coven of hags native to the forest, who might know something about the enchantment keeping the stone giant asleep. Setting off into the woods, the adventurers faced near-death encounters, including a perilous clash with flying snakes, before arriving at the cave of the stone giants. All the giants lay in a deep slumber, surrounded by the corpses of goblins who had met a grisly end. Guarding the cave was a massive bear, which the party's druid, Tim, managed to calm. Searching the cave, they discovered the object of the goblins' failed heist, an Everflame candle. As they continued deeper into the Cradlewood, they encountered Nicholas McSlickety, lying hungover and unconscious near strange trees with eerily lifelike faces carved into their trunks. 4 hideous cockatrices were pecking at his body, and as the party fought them off, Nicholas began to transform into a tree, the cockatrice venom coursing through his veins. Despite his condition, he rejoined the group, though his fate seemed sealed. Further into the forest, they encountered a malevolent tree with a twisted ancient face. This bark-faced entity offered untold knowledge in exchange for memories. Roach, driven by curiosity, traded his memories of his upbringing at the Vecna-worshipping Dore-Edo monastery, learning that his old sensei, Khan, was still alive in the Orcish kingdom of Doya. Fox, equally compelled, gave up his memories of Jorgensen, his benefactor who saved his life when he arrived to Helmsbrook on the brink of death, only to learn that his loved ones had paid for his false accusations back in Castell in his absence. Tyr, sensing the tree's evil, attempted to burn it down, but Tim's swift actions prevented the fire from spreading. The tree fell silent, its power seemingly extinguished. As they neared Goody Grimjaw's cottage, they realized Nicholas McSlickety had fully succumbed to the curse, becoming rooted to the ground and transforming into a tree. With heavy hearts, they left him behind, hoping to find a cure, though the outlook was bleak. Goody Grimjaw appeared as a young, beautiful girl, singing to a raven as she tended to her chores. When the party informed her of the sleeping giant and their discovery of the Everflame candle, Goody explained that her malevolent sisters, Gertie and Grizzy, were likely behind the enchantment. The spell that kept the hag's power in check required 3 artifacts: the Everflame candle, an enchanted tome, and a cold iron bell. If Grizzy were to obtain all 3, the spell would be broken, unleashing the full power of the coven upon Helmsbrook. Determined to stop Grizzy, the adventurers followed Goody's raven, familiar to the locations of the remaining artifacts. The first was the enchanted book titled Tome of Travails, guarded by an old gnome named Lipnico in a library within a hollowed-out demiplanar tree trunk. To their dismay, they discovered the tome had been stolen earlier that day. Suspecting Lipnico of treachery, they beat the old gnome within inches of his life before leaving him to wallow in his own filth. The second artifact, the cold iron bell, was guarded by a mystical serpent with 3 heads, each named this, that, and the other. The creature challenged the adventurers to a game of wizard serpent stone, confident in its victory. However, through cunning and luck, the party won the game, securing the bell. Armed with 2 of the 3 artifacts, the adventurers confronted Grizzy at the Grimjaw Lodge. Disguised as a minion of Grizzy, Hebrew convinced a group of goblins to whip themselves into a frenzy, keeping them distracted while the rest of the party descended into the basement where Grizzy was preparing a dark ritual. A fierce battle ensued, ending with the defeat of Grizzy and the destruction of Gertie's petrified form. Searching the lodge, they found evidence of Grizzy's alliance with Vecna, the god of undeath, and a letter addressed to a contact in Doya. The enchanted tome had been burned in the hearth, but the party had foiled the coven's plans. Goody Grimjaw thanked them for their bravery, and the stone giants awoke from their slumber. The day was won, and the adventurers returned to Helmsbrook as heroes, but their respite was short-lived. On the 3rd day of the festival, an unexpected attack threatened the village. Goblins, led by a vengeful survivor named Dib, sought retribution for their fallen hagmaster. As the party quelled the goblin siege, they were soon surrounded by skeletons and orcs, led by none other than Khan, Roach's former sensei and a monk of the Vecna-worshipping monastery. It became clear that Khan was Grizzy's contact in Doya, and he had come to finish what she had started. Roach, driven by a sense of duty and old loyalties, accepted Khan's challenge to one-on-one combat. Despite his courage, Roach was defeated with humiliating ease, and the sight of the village being ravaged forced the party to make a grim decision. With their home in flames and their allies falling, the adventurers fled, carrying the unconscious Roach. They sought refuge in Cradlewood, only to find Goody Grimjaw on the brink of death, warning them of Helmsbrook's utter ruin. Desperate and driven by a sense of impending doom, the party resolved to seek new allies and forge a path to the northern city of Haraldsburg, where their journey would continue amidst growing darkness and uncharted dangers.